Hello, everybody, and welcome to Riftboundramblings. I'm your host, Barrett, and today is December 4th, 2025. And oh my goodness, I knew they were giving us more card reveals for Spiritforged today. I did not think they were going to give us the entirety of the set except for 4 overnumbered cards. So, yeah, this is going to be a long one. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter, though. If you're new to the channel, welcome. As you can see probably by the title, my name is Barrett, and I will be commentating the first ever regional qualifier this coming weekend in Houston, Texas. So if you're new, welcome, of course. And this is mainly a news and updates channel, so if you want to subscribe and don't miss any videos from me, go ahead and hit that button. Also, give a thumbs up if you are excited for Spirit Forge. But full disclosure, because there's so many cards, I'm not going to do my normal ratings that I give these cards in my previous videos. I'm just going to go through each of them and just give a very small excerpt of whether or not I think this card is going to be good or bad or somewhere in between. And that's what we're going to do today because we have a ton of stuff. And of course, I'm flying out to Houston later this morning. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. So first up, we've got Armed Assailant that's been added to the card gallery. 6 energy, 1 power for a 6 might Noxus unit for the Fury domain. It has Accelerate and it has Weapon Master. So I think this is fine because it costs the power generically and it has matching might. This reminds me of the Blade Master unit. I think if there's a deck that maybe wants this, like a Lucian, I could see it happening, mainly because it has Accelerate, but man, oh man, is that a lot of power. But I guess you're compensating it for weapon mastering and getting not spending power on a thing. So that's pretty good, and you can attack right away. So maybe it's fine. Next is Blood Rush. We saw this one actually in the beginning teaser trailer that Dave did for Spiritforge. They just didn't put it on the card gallery until now. But this is basically Cleave. Blood Rush, 1 energy, spell, fury, domain, action timing with repeat, which means you can pay it again. And it gives your unit Assault 2. So Cleave gives Assault 3 for 1. This gives Assault 2 for 1, but you have the ability to repeat it if you have the extra energy, which means I think it's going to be very good, just like how Cleave is. And maybe decks will play both. Next is Bushwhack. 2 energy, 1 power, spell. It can be hidden, and it says friendly units enter ready this turn, play a gold gear token exhausted. Really good if you can hold on to a battlefield, but this is very similar to Confront, but instead of drawing a card, it is giving you a gold for later, but this one costs a power. But it might be good enough for decks that are looking for a Confront equivalent on Fury. Next is Detonate. 1 energy, 1 power spell. No action, no reaction timing. It says kill a gear. Its controller draws 2. Hidden Blade for gears. If Fury needs some extra help with gear hate, this is probably the one you'll see sideboarded or played. But giving your opponent 2 cards might be really bad. But it kills Dazzling, so that's pretty nice. Next is Eager Drakehound for 3 energy, 1 power, 3 might. Noxus Dog Dragon unit for the Fury domain. And it says I enter ready. So it's like a mandatory Noxan Rearguard for like a mandatory accelerated unit version of it for 1 extra power or might. I don't know, probably not. Sentinel Adept, 3 energy, 3 might. Shadow Isles Sentinel for the Fury domain, and it has Weapon Master. I think Lucians will like this to move those equipments around a little bit better, but other than that, who knows? It is just a French vanilla. Serrated Dirk, 1 energy, equipment, gear for the Fury domain. Normal equip cost, it gives Assault 2, but no might to your unit. I think this is just kind of worse than Longsword, but it costs 1, so maybe if you need it, but I don't think it's worth it. Lucian, again, might do it because this is like Cleave. Angle Shot, 2 energy spell with reaction timing for the Fury domain. Choose a unit and an equipment with the same controller. Attach that equipment to that unit or detach that equipment from that unit. Draw a card. Combat Trick. You can equip a thing or detach something on your opponent. It might see play if there's equipment decks going all over the place, but other than that, probably not. Battering Ram, 5 energy, 5 might, Noxus Trifarian Fury domain unit. I cost 1 less for each card you've played this turn to a minimum of 1. Probably not. Just probably not going to make room in the deck, but it's not too bad if you play a bunch of stuff in the same turn. Blast Core Cadet for 2 energy, 2 might, Piltover unit for the Fury domain. You may pay 1 and a power as an additional cost to play me, and if you did, deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield. So optional ping with the unit is actually not that bad. Instead of accelerating it, it pay an accelerate cost to do 2. It could be good against aggro decks. It could just be good in aggro decks that are doing like spell slinging stuff. So maybe Kaisa, maybe Annie, who knows? Minotaur Reckoner for 5 energy, 5 might, knocks this unit Fury Domain. Units can't move to base. Basically a unit version of Vilema's Lair, but it goes across both while it's on the board. Does it cost power to play? It might be pretty good, actually. Might be pretty good. Perched Grimworm for 4 energy, you get a 5 might Shadow Isles Dragon. Dragon matters. And play me only to a battlefield you conquered this turn. This is pretty good because people do like follow-up units after you've conquered. It's overstatted. And it's a dragon, so maybe it has even more synergy. So this one's probably, maybe, Volibear type decks. Recurve Bow for 2 energy, you get an equipment gear for the Fury Domain, normal equip cost. When I attack or defend, deal 2 to an enemy unit here. Similar to Longsword if you count as pinging damage as equivalent to might gain, which it really isn't. So maybe Longsword's better because of the reaction timing. Sudden Storm for 3 energy, it's a spell. You can hide it, but it has action timing, so can give either or. And it says deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield, but if it's an attacking unit, you deal 4 to it instead. Weird Void Seeker, kinda, but doesn't draw a card, doesn't replace itself, but can be hidden instead. Probably not, but I don't know. Assembly Rig for 4 energy, it's a gear for the Fury Domain, and you can pay 1 generic and a power, recycle a unit from your trash, and exhaust this. Play a 3 might mech unit token at your base. So it's a gear that has constant generation of mechs. You can play it on turn 4 and then still use this ability because the gears come in ready. Recycling a unit isn't terrible. It could be good for constantly making units, maybe like a multiplayer card, but maybe not competitive. Rumble Hot-Headed, 4 energy, 4 might, no power cost. Rumble champion unit for the Fury Domain with Bandle City, Yordle, and Mech. Your mechs now have Assault 1, and it says when I conquer, you may recycle another friendly unit to play a mech from your trash, reduce its energy cost by the might of the unit you recycled. This is really cool, of like swapping your mechs around and getting in stuff that you might have died earlier on, including even like this one. And recycling it, right? So you put it on the bottom of your deck. This isn't bad, and I do still like the whole idea of that all the mechs are getting every single keyword in the game or trait. But you know, I think this one is probably pretty good for Rumble. Here's also the Overnumbered of it. I don't own this Rumble skin. I think the other ones are better, but here you go. Next up is the Lucian Gunslinger. This is the champion unit for the Fury Domain for Lucian. For 3 energy, you get a 2 might Demacia Sentinel Lucian unit. Has Assault, and it says when I attack, deal damage equal to my Assault to an enemy unit here. This is pretty good because, again, Lucian's going to give it another instant of Assault as long as it's equipped. And this is basically the kind of effect on why why the Yasuo and the Calm Domain champion unit is really nice. But you have to be able to get its Assault really high. But we have a lot of ways to do that now. So, not bad. And then here is the Overnumbered. Next up, this is the Overnumbered for the Rek'Sai unit. I did already cover this unit in a previous video because we got the picture a little earlier than today. But here's the Overnumbered version with the Black Frost Rek'Sai. Just wanted to show it off, but we have already gone over this card. Next up is Skyfall of Ararion. And this is a 3 energy equipment gear for the Fury Domain with slightly more of than a normal equip cost with 1 extra energy. And this is my hold effects are also conquer effects and vice versa, while giving +2 might. And effects like this are incredibly good because anything I've ever said that hold effects are not really reliant to pull off, well, conquer is a lot easier. Vice versa, if it has a conquer effect, now they also double up as a hold effect, which is awesome. So this is a really awesome card. Next is Desert's Call. Now as we go to the Calm Domain, for 2 energy, you get a spell. You can repeat it for the same cost, and it says play a 2 might Sand Soldier unit token. And this might be good enough to play in Azir because we need to find a way to generate these Sand Soldiers similarly to Victor without having access to the Mind card. So maybe good enough because of the repeat, but basically just a non-unit version. Next is Disarming Rake. 3 energy, 1 power, 2 might unit for Demacia. When you play me, you may kill a gear. So this is basically Adaptatron, but on play instead of on Conquer. So maybe everyone but Yasuo will play this card as gear hate in these domains. Next is Guardian of the Passage for 6 energy and a 6 might Shadow Isles Spirit unit. For when I hold, you may return a unit or gear from your trash to your hand. costs a lot, even though it doesn't have a power cost, and I just don't think gear recursion will matter, but this is a unit or gear. So maybe this one actually not bad. Not as cheap, though, as some of the stuff in Chaos. Next is Lonely Poro. 2 energy, 2 might, Failure Poro unit for the Calm Domain. And it says, Death Knell when I die. If I died alone, draw a card. I don't think this takes the home of like Stalwart Poro in specifically like Yi decks, but this could take the place of Stalwart Poro for other Calm decks because it's more than likely just meant to be a 2-drop that dies, and we know that Watchful Sentry sees play. So it's just harder to pull off Watchful Sentry, which does matter early. Next up is Navori Scout, as I forgot to change the name, but for 4 energy, you get a 4 might Yordle Ionia unit for the Calm Domain, and it just has Deflect. Is this good enough to be played over the likes of like what slots of Kiana and Fiora exist with? Probably not, but it's on a different domain, so maybe this is good enough to have a non-power costed Deflect unit against like the Kaises of the world. Next is Ribbon Dancer. For 3 energy, you get a 3 might Ionia unit. When I move to a battlefield, give another friendly unit +1 might this turn. Some Yasuo shenanigans or Irelia shenanigans, but aside from that, I don't know where this goes, and it might just not be good enough. Yeah, because it's only moving to a battlefield. Next is Apprentice Smith. 2 energy, 2 might, Failure unit. When I move, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a gear, draw it. Otherwise, recycle it. For equipment decks, maybe Orin wants to play this because of how many gears will be in the deck. But maybe not. But it's just a good 2-drop for gear decks. Next is Emperor's Divide. 2 energy, spell, can be hidden and has action timing, so it could be either. And move any number of friendly units at a battlefield to their base. This is basically Flash for Chaos, and Flash does see play, but it sees play in a legend that always can pay for it. So maybe, but maybe not. Maybe yes. I think this card's pretty good. Legion Quartermaster. For 3 energy, you get a 4 might Noxus Trifarian unit. As an additional cost to play me, though, you have to return a friendly gear to its owner's hand. This is good if it synergizes with a gear that draws a card on play, which we do currently have one. And also it draws you a card when it leaves. So this one's pretty good, but that means you have to play Calm Chaos. We would need a gear that gets something on play to make this card pretty good. Oh, hey, look, it's Poro Snacks. For 1 energy and 1 power, you get a gear for the Calm Domain. It says when you play this, draw 1 card. And then you can kill it for an extra cost of basically playing it again to draw 1 card. This is only really playable with the other card we just showed, but maybe the Poros will get even more support. And it's got Braum Flavor Text. That's pretty good. Next is Simian Ancestor. For 5 energy, 1 power, you get a 5 might Ionia unit. It says when you buff me, ready me. This is pretty good. This is pretty good with like Lee Sin. Yeah, this is honestly just probably better than the 6-drop body unit that says while I'm buffed, I have ganking. This is probably just better than that, even though it costs this power. Next is Heart of Drake or Dark Ice. For 3 energy and 1 power, you get a gear, and it says exhaust me, give a unit +3 might this turn. Doesn't have action or reaction timing, so you have to do it preemptively, but that's what Arena Bar kind of does. Gives power, maybe, but the power cost here is really bad for me, unless we maybe play this in Ornn specifically. Next is Janna Savior. 3 energy, 1 power, 3 might champion unit for Janna, in the Calm Domain. Has reaction, which means you can play her like Shen currently in the game at battlefields you control or in your base at reaction timing. And she says, when you play me, heal your units here, then move any enemy unit here to its base. This is very good. This is very good. It survives against a Kaisa thing, and then also functions as a fighter flight. This is so good. 10 out of 10 card and also flavor text. Pick these up. Pick these up, players. If you're playing Calm, find these. Next is Cloth Armor. For 1 energy, you get an equipment gear for the Mind Domain now. It has Quick Draw, which means you can play it at reaction timing, and it will equip itself. Normal equip cost gives shield 2 to a unit. I like this one a lot, and it's probably pretty good for Ornn. And I would also maybe say Ezreal? Dare I say Ezreal because it chooses when you equip it, reaction? This is pretty good, guys. I like this one. Next is Forecaster. 2 energy, 2 might, Vandal City Yordle mech for the Mind Domain. Your mechs have vision. I think this is pretty good just for just generically being an overstated mech that is very like karma synergistic, right? Giving all your units mech or vision. I think this card's pretty good for what that deck will be doing. Next is Frigid Touch for 2 energy spell for the Mind Domain with reaction timing. It also has repeat and it gives the unit -2 might. So get rid of the power cost on Smokescreen for half the power of the card. Um, but it can be repeated to get up to the same power, but it costs no. Sorry, to get to the same might reduction, but it will cost the same or double energy. Interesting card. Probably Smokescreen's better. Gearhead, 5 energy, 3 might Zon unit for the Mind Domain. It has Accelerate, which is very good because it says each equipment attached to me gives double its base might bonus. This is a heavy hitter for Ornn decks. This is going to be pretty good, and specifically Ornn. And because it also has Accelerate, it's going to be potentially taking the room of other Accelerate units. I don't want to say like Thousand Tailed Watcher, but maybe. Actually, maybe. Next is Plundering Poro for 2 energy. You get a 2 might Bilgewater Poro Pirate. When I conquer, play a gear token exhausted. This was in the video that was talking about like the TFT update, which is kind of cool. We saw Dave playing with the Plundering Poro. It's probably not bad if you need this 2-drop, but you're going to fight space here with Watchful Sentry. Next is Wages of Pain. For 3 energy, you get a spell that has hidden and action timing. And it says deal 3 to a unit out of battlefield. Play a gold gear token exhausted. I think this is going to be pretty good. It's very close to Voidseeker, but the gold is going to go a long way in people like Renata. And there's also, remember, in the order domain, that Renata Glass champion unit card that says the gold will come in ready. It will probably be good if you can find ways to keep that unit on the board. So this one's not bad. This is Drop Border. For 4 energy, you get a 4 might Zon unit. It says, when you play me, if you control 2 or more gears, ready me. Really good to get with gold decks, so Renata will probably like it. And then probably even Ornn could play it as well, just for an extra ready unit without the power cost. Next is Pickpocket. For 3 energy, you get a 3 might Zon unit. It says, when you play me, you may kill a gear with energy costs no more than 1. If you do, play a gold gear token exhausted. This is pretty cool because it kills enemy seals and then gives you a gold for doing it. So very niche card if people start playing seals at the wazoo. It also kills your enemy gold, and you get a gold. So this is probably not bad later on. We'll see what the meta feels like on release. Next is Temporal Portal. 3 energy gear for the Mind Domain. You can pay a generic power and exhaust this, and give the next spell you play this turn repeat equal to its cost. This is pretty crazy with any spell that exists that you can play with this. I think like Double Ride the Wind is actually kind of nuts. I think, oh my gosh, you can repeat signature spells. This card's crazy. If you can repeat signature spells, this card's crazy. Next is Guard Sharp. 3 energy, 3 might, Bilgewater Mind unit. When you play me, you and each opponent may play gold gear tokens exhausted. For each opponent who did, you may play a gold gear token exhausted. This is a great, awesome multiplayer card. I love it. Next is Hextech Anomaly. 3 energy, 1 power gear. You can exhaust this as a reaction timing and pay any amount of power cost, and then you add that much energy to your pool. This is pretty cool. I like this a lot. It gives basically double mileage out of all of your runes in a turn. Or you can spend them in weird situations like that as well. Next is Renata Glass Mastermind. This is a 5 energy, 4 might Renata Glass champion unit for the Mind Domain. You can pay 1 generic and a power to draw 1 card. And then you can pay 4 generic and 4 power, exhaust her, score 1 point. Use my abilities only while I'm at a battlefield. Okay, so that first one is repeatable. You can draw a billion cards if you would like to get rid of all of your energy. And then the second ability is incredible for when you get to put her on a battlefield and keep her there, which is I think like the Ari game plan where she can score extra points and you may win that way. That's pretty cool. I like this one. Here's also the Overnumbered. Moving on, we got Rumble Scrapper, 5 energy, 1 power for 4 might. Rumble, Vandal City, Yordle, Mech, champion unit for the Mind Domain. Your mechs get an extra +1 might, including myself. And when I hold, play a 3 might mech unit token to your base. This is incredible. This is great. Great global buff for basically your entire deck. And here's the Overnumber. Love this Rumble skin. Next is the Zero Drive. For 3 energy, you get a gear equipment for the Mind Domain. It does have an equip cost that is higher than normal by paying a generic, basically. Pay 3 in a generic, or 3 generic and a power. Banish this. Play all units banished with this, ignoring their cost. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's because the actual equipment gives Death Knell, where you banish that unit when it dies, and also gives 2 might. This is so cool. This is the coolest card, I think, in the entire set. Where, if, as long as you are slowly putting one equipment or gear or whatever on one unit at a time, eventually this says every unit that died for you this game, that this touched, get them back. That's awesome. What a cool card. Next is Combat Chef. For 5 energy, you get a 5 Might Demacia unit for the Body Domain, and it has Weapon Master. This is a non-power costed Yone without a second ability, so budget version. Next is Dire Wing. For 7 energy, you get a 7 Might Demacia Dragon. That matters. And it says, I enter ready if you control another dragon. So Dragon Synergy for the Body Domain. Eventually, someone's going to build a dragon deck, and it might actually be good. Next is Laurent Bladekeeper. For 3 energy, you get a 3 Might Demacia unit, and it just has ganking. This card is very fine. Nothing crazy, just fine. Next is Sea Monkey. 2 energy, 2 Might, Bilgewater Pirate. No monkey trait. Interesting. A unit for the Body Domain, and as you play the monkey, you may pay an extra one to make it a 3-drop, and if you did, it comes in with a buff. So it's either a 2 for 2 or a 3 for 3, depending on what you want to do with your energy for the turn, which is fine, I guess. Next is Fey Dragon. 7 energy, 1 power, 7 might, Bandle City Fey Dragon unit for the Body Domain. When you play me, buff up to 4 friendly units, includes itself. When you spend a buff, play a Gold Gear token Exhausted. This is really cool for the dragon decks that now get to play buff synergies, because you can now buff all your dragons as you're playing the game. That's pretty cool. And then you can play buff synergies in whatever legend you want to do that with. We're going to also just get a dragon legend, and eventually this will all come together. I guarantee it. Next is Hex Drinker. For 2 energy, you get a gear equipment for normal equip cost, and it gives deflect and a might to whatever it's attached to. Lucian is going to love this card. Jax is going to love this card. I think this is probably the best equipment they've shown that costs 2 or less the entire set. Next is Petrosite Monument. 2 energy gear with temporary, and it says friendly units have deflect. So you give global deflect as you play this, and then it will die. So it's a global turn give deflect to everything, which is great for little mini units to survive getting targeted by things. But currently, there's not a lot of that happening, or if it's just like 1 or 2, and they just won't pick them, I guess. They'll wait till this goes away. Maybe. I don't know. Next is Ruin Runner. For 6 energy, you get a 5 might Shurima Body Domain unit. It says I can't be chosen by enemy spells and abilities. Might be pretty good in Dazzling Yi, because then it is just a unit that's protected from Kaisa mirror matches, basically. Can't be chosen by any enemy abilities, but you still can. This one's pretty good. It's just niche. Next is Show of Strength. For 2 energy and 1 power, it is a spell with reaction timing. And it says draw 1 for each of your mighty units. Spell version of Cadrigan. This is great for Volibear Dazzling. Actually great. Helps you replenish your hand. Akshan Mischievous is a 4 energy, 4 might Akshan Shurima Sentinel champion unit for the Body Domain. Has Weapon Master. Says you may pay 2 power as an additional cost to play me. And if you did, when it gets played, you move an enemy gear to your base. You now control it until Akshan leaves the board. And if it was an equipment, you can attach it to Akshan. So I like that it's optional. Regardless, he has Weapon Master. So that will be good for those decks. And it is anti-gear stealing, including things like Dazzling. Like, it just actually lets you steal your opponent's Dazzling. This is the gear hate card you will now play, because it's a unit version, and it still has Weapon Master, and you don't have to pay that additional cost. This card is great. Incredible card. Next is Fiona Peerless. 3 energy and 1 power, you get a 3 might Fiora Demacia unit, champion unit for the Body Domain. When I attack or defend 1-on-1, double my might this combat. That's so good. That this unit alone will become mighty from her own ability for the Fiora Legend every time she goes to combat by herself. And Master Yi decks can play this. This card's nuts, guys. When I attack and defend 1-on-1, this is the same timing as Yi. You can pick the order. Master Yi puts this to 5. Fiora puts it to 10. Oh my goodness, guys. For 3 might? If it works that way, this is... Even if it doesn't work that way, it goes to 8 might. Double 3, go to 6, plus the 2 from Yi. Guys, this is so good for Tempo Yi. So good. Oh, hey, here's the alt art. Here's the Overnumbered. That card's nuts. Black Market Broker. 3 energy, 3 might Zon unit for the Chaos Domain. When you play a card from face down, play a gold gear token exhausted. Teemo support. Not bad. But pretty cool. Next is Corrupt Enforcer. For 3 energy and 1 power, you get a 4 might Piltover unit. When I move to a battlefield, discard 1. When I win a combat, draw a card. So maybe Jinx support, but I don't think anyone else is going to want to play this. Next is Fae Porter. For 4 energy, you get a 4 might Ionia Fae unit for the Chaos Domain. When I move to a battlefield, you may pay a power to move a unit you control to the same battlefield. I think this is a cool card. I don't think it's very good. I think that power can be spent with other movement spells, and this unit doesn't have to eat up a spot in your deck where units are probably really important. Next is Master Bingewind. For 6 energy, a 6 might Ionia unit for the Chaos Domain, and it just has Weapon Master. So it's a French vanilla, it doesn't cost power. If you have body, obviously I think Yone and the other one that costs the power are pretty good, but this one's until you get the better cards, probably. Next is Temptation. 2 energy spell for the Chaos Domain. It has repeat, and it says move an enemy unit to a location where there's a unit with the same controller. So because this is repeat, this is basically fight or flight, but it can be done twice. But it doesn't have action or reaction timing, which means it is only a try and win the game by moving your units off of the board kind of play. So it's kind of like the sideways version of using a charm. Yeah, it's basically closer to charm, but can't be used to make you fight their units. It might have a home somewhere. Next is Ancient Warmonger. 5 energy, 4 might Noxus Spirit for the Chaos Domain. It has Accelerate, which is nice. I have Assault equal to the number of enemy units here. So this is a great unit that kills little units. Because you will gain an extra Assault for basically every one of those little recruits that are at that battlefield. Not as good against the Sand Soldiers, because Sand Soldiers have 2 might. Next is Beast Below. 7 energy, 2 power, 8 might, Bilgewater unit. When you play me, return another friendly unit and a enemy unit to their owner's hand. This might be pretty good actually in Misfortune Dazzling, or any other legend that has that combination. Like Sivir could do it as well with Dazzling, and paying the power cost also still works, but bouncing a thing is not bad. Next up is Call. For 1 energy, equipment gear for the Chaos Domain, normal equip cost. When I conquer, play a gold gear token exhausted, and it gives a might. Maybe if the decks that are trying to do equipments like Ezreal need some 1-class ones, this one will be playable. Sivir also refunds and gives you gold for playing these equip costs, so not a bad idea there as well. Next is Factory Recall. For 1 energy, it's a spell with the action timing for the Chaos Domain. It says return a gear to its owner hand. Not really an answer to Dazzling, but it does have action timing, so it is interesting if they played a Dazzling and then attacked into you, you could bounce the Dazzling before they get 1 trigger of it. Other than that is a 1 energy answer to bounce Dazzling, but it means they can play it again the next turn. Next is Harpoon Squad. For 4 energy, 4 might, Bilgewater Pirate, Chaos Domain. When I move from a battlefield, give me +2 might this turn. There's a battlefield that basically does this. When it moves from that battlefield, this says move from any battlefield. On a generic unit, probably not the best. Next is Edge of Night. 3 energy, gear, equipment for the Chaos Domain. It has hidden for an equipment, which means Teemo can play it. And it says when you play me from face down, you can immediately attach it to a unit that's there, and it gives +2 might. Will anybody else play this? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. Next is Sivir Mercenary. For 4 energy and 1 power, you get a 4 might Sivir Shurima champion unit for the Chaos Domain. Has Accelerate, but she already costs a power, so interesting. And then she says if you spend at least 2 power, which she does if you spent the Accelerate cost, she gains 2 might and has ganking. That's not bad, but I don't know if I like this more than the other Sivir, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the other Sivir. And here's the Overnumbered, but she might be good enough. Next is Spirit Wheel. For 2 energy, you get a gear for the Chaos Domain that says when you choose a friendly unit, you may pay 1 generic and exhaust this to draw 1. I think this is great for Irelia decks, and also goes incredibly well with that Irelia champion unit that says all your cards that pick a friendly unit cost less, because then you can spend that 1 extra to draw cards. Very, very good. I forgot to change the name, but here is the Ezreal Prodigy champion unit for the Chaos Domain. For 3 energy and 1 power, you get a 3 might Piltover Ezreal unit. When you play me, discard 1, draw 2. That's incredible. And optional additional costs you pay cost 1 generic or 1 power less. Very good with repeat cards. Very good with repeats. And that's how you get double triggers too, right? With Ezreal. And also just the enter effect is nuts. It's very nice. Discard 1, draw 1, and this is on the scrap heap domain. And then here is the Debonair Overnumbered. Next is Imminent Benefactor. For 6 energy and 5 might, you get a Piltover unit for the Order domain. When I hold, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. It's not bad, but it's not great. I don't know how good it... Renata maybe wants the gold that fast, maybe. Next is Eye of the Herald. 1 energy gear equipment for the Order domain. Normal equip cost, and says when I move, play a 1 might recruit unit token here, but it gives 0 might because it makes him body. Yeah, this card alone makes me want to build a Zir. This card alone, because it will be incredibly good in him. Next is Guards. 3 energy spell. It has hidden, which means and that's the only way it can gain reaction timing, but normally it just says play a 2 might Sand Soldier unit token here, and then you may pay a power to ready it. So offensively, it's 3 energy and a power to get it ready if you want to do that, or you can have it hidden, and you are not going to pay the extra cost to ready it, basically. You're not going to do that. But this one's not bad. Next is Laurent Duelist. For 4 energy, you get a 3 might Demacia unit for the Order domain, and it has Assault 2. I don't think we need this. Probably not. Next is Sand Shifter. 5 energy, 2 power. 6 might Shurima unit for the Order domain. When you play me, kill an enemy unit with 3 or less might. The 3 or less might is pretty rough, but it does kill something on play for 2 power. I think the dragon from set 1 is probably even just better. Next is Trusty Ramhound. For 2 energy, you get a 2 might Elite Dog Demacia unit. That says, well, you have another unit here. I have +1 might. Might take the place for some Daring Poro decks, but I think the other 2 drop we got this set for Order is probably better. Next is Zon Punk. 3 energy, 3 might Zon unit for the Order domain. You may kill a friendly gear as an additional cost to play me, and if you did, you kill a gear. So you can sack off a gold to target snipe a seal or a dazzling or something like that, and then you get a little unit to come with it. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not, though. Next is Blood Money. 2 energy spell with action timing that says kill a unit at a battlefield with 2 might or less if it was an enemy unit. Play a gold gear token exhausted. But if it was a friendly unit, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. This probably is not terrible if you have a lot of power costs in your recruit building type style decks. If your unit was already going to die, it's like hidden blading your own thing, but for a different effect. If you need power, sure. Next is Death Grip. 2 energy spell with reaction timing. Kill a friendly unit to give might equal to its might to another friendly unit this turn. I like this one a lot. This is sideways hitting blade on defense / your unit's already getting targeted by a thing. You can reaction timing kill it instead. Give your stuff. The effect misses for your opponent's thing. I think that's pretty cool. I think this one's not bad. Next is Rally the Troops. 2 energy spell for the action timing. This is when a friendly unit is played this turn. Buff it, and it draws a card. This is like Confront for what can be done for Dazzling decks for Order and Body, of course. But instead of them coming in ready, which doesn't normally really matter when you're doing the Dazzling thing, it gives them a buff, which does matter. And again, it replaces itself. So it's not bad. Next is Forge Fire Cape. We got some more signature cards. This is a signature gear for Ornn that costs 4 energy and 2 power to play. It has the unique word trait on it, which says your deck can only have 1 card with this name, so it's only 1 in the deck, but you can also pick it in your champion or your signature card. Wait, no, it's just a signature card. Okay, so there's only 1 in your decks. It's not your champion unit. My bad. But it has an equip cost of generic. pay any power. And it says when I attack or defend, deal 2 to all enemy units here, and it gives +3 might. In Ornn, it's great. This card's great. And he's the only one who can play it. And it's just a one of. It's just really nice to have this. Yeah, this card's great. This is incredible. Oh, by the way, they made another one. It's a different item for Ornn. Same cost to play, but this one gives +3 might, like the other one, and says your spells and abilities deal 3 bonus damage. Yeah, this one's also incredibly good because of the 3 might and all the extra effects that it gives. And that just it exists. That effect. Oh, it's while it's attached. Okay, I read it. I read the parentheses. This card's also incredible. Oh, by the way, they gave him a third one, which costs the same, and it says your units here have ganking. Oh, but this one has an extra line of text. It says when you play this, ready your units, and then it gives them all, and then it gives your units ganking because you can attach it, right? For only 2 might. This card is the best one. If you're playing Ornn, I don't think there's any reason to not play all 3 of these. And I think the only exception is for Rabadons and Forged Fire Cape. If you're not doing one of those 2 things, which I mean, Forge Fire you are. So Rabadons, if you just have no spells and abilities that deal damage, sure, don't play that one. But the other 2 are so good, and they're one of. So this like fills in your 3. This is such a cool concept. Whoever designed this, you're my favorite designer, probably of all time in all card games. This is incredible. The theming on this for this character and legend, 10 out of 10. Moving on, we've got Counter Strike for 2 energy and a power. Signature spell for Jax. Reaction timing, great. Choose a unit. The next time that unit would be dealt damage this turn, prevent it. Draw 1. This card's incredible. This card's great. It's so thematic as well. 10 out of 10. This card's going in every Jax deck out of 3 of probably. Next is Arise. This is Azir's signature spell for 6 energy and a power. No timing, so it can only be played on your turn. Play a 2 Might Sand Soldier unit token for each equipment you control. Then ready 2 of them. This card's for each equipment you control. This card's nuts, guys. This card's incredible. Because they all have Weapon Master. You can then give each of them a different equipment. Oh, guys, it's so good. Next is Arcane Shift for 3 energy and a power. For Ezreal's action timing, banish a friendly unit. Then its owner plays it, ignoring its costs. Deal 3 to an enemy unit at a battlefield, and then you banish the spell. Okay, playing it is great. Oh, defensively. You still control the battlefield in that combat. You can play it back to the battlefield, but it blinks it so that it like leaves like it's not like the target that so that if it's like being picked by a spell, you know what I'm trying to say. And it deals damage. This card's incredible, guys. This card's incredible. And it's a blink effect for enter the battlefield effects. Guys, this is so good. This set is nuts. All right, here's another one. Hostile Takeover. 5 energy and 2 power for the Renata Glass signature spell. It has hidden, which means you can pay this for way cheaper. Way cheaper. And it says take control of an enemy unit at a battlefield. Ready it. At the start, lose control that unit and recall it at the end of turn. Okay, so worst case scenario, this is a combat trick that steals one of your opponent's units' might and fights against themselves. Best case scenario, you hit it and then you don't have to use it on defense, and back on your turn, it just says take one of their units and you can swing with it immediately. And then you still don't give it a point. You don't give them a point for taking it because it recalls to their base. Guys, this is so good. And I have to play Renata to play this card. I guess I have to play Renata now. Next is On the Hunt. This is the last one. For 1 energy and 2 power, you get a signature spell for Sivir, and it just says ready all of your units. No action or reaction timing, obviously, so just play it on your turn. And basically, it means ganking is going to be incredible for Sivir. It means this is give global accelerate for essentially 1 energy. It brings your units back to be sick. Incredible as well for Sivir. And the power cost, she refunds it. So good. So good. Next is Riposte. For 2 energy and 2 power, you get a reaction timing spell for Fiora signature spell that says choose a friendly unit and a spell. Choose a friendly unit and a spell. Counter that spell and give that unit might equal to that spell's energy cost this turn. Guys, this counters anything. It does not have a a restriction like Defy, and honestly, the more expensive it is, and it buffs your unit up with stats. Guys, Fiora might be actually so good because of just this one card, this one spell, and you don't have to be on calm domains. It's so good. Oh, we have more cards. We have more cards. I'm so long. Next up is Emperor Dias. For Battlefield, when you conquer here, you may pay 1 generic and return a unit you control here to its owner hand. If you do, play a 2 Might Sand Soldier unit token here. If you already know you're going to lose the guy, you just wanted the point, this is fine. I don't know if I want to main it as my Battlefield. Next is Forge of the Fluffed. Battlefield, while you control this battlefield, friendly legends have exhaust. Attach an equipment you control to a unit you control. This is so good. This is so good. This is also great for Azir, because all of your Sand Soldiers have this ability. Next, wait, but there you have Weapon Master. Okay, it's fine. Next is Forgotten Monument. Battlefield, players can't score here until their 3rd turn. This is probably pretty good for dazzling decks that need it, like, because it basically slows the game down for more than a Spear's Climb if you're playing against an aggro deck, and that's when you want that. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Next is Hall of Legends. Battlefield, when you conquer here, you may pay 1 generic to ready your legend. Guys, this is the best Battlefield I've ever seen. This is so cool. This is so cool. Irelia could really use this, or it's just extra readying, right? Even a bit, even what, like, oh, there's so many, guys. Kaisa can play this. Ornn can play this. Jax can play this. This card's incredible for all of those legends that exhaust themselves and can't, like, bring themselves back up. So you can get, like, a twofer. It's so nice, guys. Mirai Spire, Battlefield. While you control this battlefield, friendly repeat costs 1 less. I think Ezreal will like this a lot because of the repeat being very nice with the champion unit that we saw. Next is Minefield. Battlefield, when you conquer here, put the top 2 cards of your main deck into your trash. This is very good if you're an Annie deck and you're trying to pull off Vi more efficiently and quicker. It also, though, is pretty deterrent on your rival if you want to play, if they want to do like dazzling decks, because them milling one of their few units in their deck to the discard pile is actually terrible for them. And even also like dazzlings could go to the so it's a deterrent battlefield. Oh, it's only on Conquer. No, it's still pretty good. Yeah, because if they want to catch up in points, they have to go to this battlefield. They can still mill units. I think it's pretty good against dazzling decks. Next is Rockfall Path. Units can't be played here. Cheeky against like the Rangars and the Shen cards of the world, and then also you can't reinforce at all at that battlefield. So it's kind of cool for also like the Yi style type depths of playing and defending with 1 unit. Next is Seat of Power. When you conquer here, draw 1 for each other battlefield you or allies control. This is a great way to do like the Monarch system in multiplayer. I like this one for multiplayer a lot. Next is Sunken Temple. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 to draw 1. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 to draw 1. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Dazzling decks. Fiora probably, obviously, but yeah, not bad. Next, not Sunken Temple again. This is the Paper Tree. When you hold here, each player channels 1 rune exhausted. Not a bad idea to do this in multiplayer because everyone's going to get it to kind of make it a little more equal footing. But it's mainly for you if you're trying to ramp. I like it. It's not bad. Veiled Temple. When you conquer here, you may ready a friendly gear. If it's an equipment, you may detach it. I think this is specifically good with the gears that commit themselves or exhaust themselves for energy or really incredible effects like Baited Hook, or seals obviously give you energy, right? Or the repeatable draw ones like we saw from like the Sacrifice Pit. with the Elise flavor text. So I don't know, maybe very specific, but maybe. Next is some of the overnumbers. These are going to be very quick. These are, again, there's only 4 cards missing on the card gallery, as this is now the home stretch. These are just the overnumbers I haven't shown off yet, so, and also their showcases if they have any. So Seal of Rage, very pretty. Next is Aphelios Exalted, is the unit we talked about in the last video, is getting an overnumbered and is also getting a showcase. So here are the 2 of those. Artist here is Masaki Hisui. Next is the Seal of Insight overnumbered, also looks great. Next is the Seal of Unity, also looks incredible. I probably like it a lot, but I also am an Order fan. Next is Soraka Wanderer is getting an overnumbered in the set. Soraka we talked about in the last video as well, and she is also getting a showcase with the artist of Loisa Chen. Next, Jax Legend overnumbered. Hadn't seen this one, but I think it does look good. I bet the foiling is going to pop. Next is the Azir Legend. Again, I already want to play Azir because of the Eye of the Herald, and now this overnumbered is also incredibly beautiful. Next, Ezreal is getting one. The colors on this are incredible. I think all my friends are going to want it. And then Renata Glass also looks great. I love the blue-yellow, and it fits really nice with her gold aesthetic. And then last but not least is the Sivir Legend. And sadly, they did our girl Sivir a little dirty. I just don't like her pastel-looking face in this art style. It's just me, but yeah. That is it, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you stuck around this long, like and comment down below for any of the cards you're excited for. We're not going to do any more reveals because the last 4 are just some overnumbered cards, and it is time to move on from Spiritforged, as it is now going to be time to be talking about competitive Riftbound coming up soon. So, everybody, thanks for watching this video. I hope to see you in Houston, of course. I'll be at the broadcast booth, as it has been announced. I am casting for the Houston Regional Qualifier. Love it if you guys want to come say hi. Check out me at the broadcast section. I'll be wearing a suit. It'll be pretty easy to spot me. So you guys, hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next one.